All right, y'all. We back with a how-to video on how we build these incubators. This one is a 78 egg holder. It should be 90, but the bottom shelf is different than the top two. First thing you want to do is measure your width, front and back. So, because sometimes in these refrigerators, the back can be a little smaller because it comes to a curve. So the first thing I did was I started with the outside, and what I did was I measured the width, and then I did the same thing in the back. Then what you want to do is make sure it's at least a half inch. This one here is probably a full inch, but a half inch in between the wood here and the wood in the back. Make sure that you have a nice gap in between it, so when it rotates, there's no issues with it. So what I did was I measured, from here in the inside and the back on the inside. Got my measurement and I subtracted 1 inch. And what you do is you do the same thing. You make sure you have clearance on each side. So these racks are 14 wide. 14 long by 10 wide. So these trays are 30 count egg trays. They fit in there perfect. So when you're doing it, all you need is make sure that you get it with your carriage bolts. All your carriage bolts, and make sure that you have two nuts in between here and one on the inside. And next is your L brackets. Your L brackets, you want to have two L brackets, one on each side, screwed in nice and tight, front and back. And once you do that, this all you gotta do is make sure it's balanced and everything on this is good. So whenever you get your measurements, just make sure that before you put it in, that everything is rotating pretty nice and it's not getting caught on anything or snagged, because it will cause a problem. It will cause the issue. You don't want to burn your motor out from it getting snagged. You want to make sure that you're away from the walls far enough. Next, as you can see, when it's going up, this is how you want to make sure that your bar is pinned. So you can go ahead and get your holes in, so you can get it strapped down, so all of it can rotate all together at one time. After that, you come down to your motor. You get your motor placement in a good spot. What I did was I made a bracket for it to hold it first at the top. And what I did was I made this piece of bar right here out of a piece of strap. And the same thing with this is a piece of strap from Lowe's. It was $14 for a 4-foot piece. I had to cut these holes out. And whenever you're doing it, you want to make sure that you get it going all the way up and just let it slide down on its own. Once it comes down, it's going to pull it back down. After that, what I did was once I made sure I got these pieces, to where it's rotating the way it needs to, what I did was I took and made a bracket for the bottom to make sure it's locked in. This isn't going anywhere. Everything is locked in nice and tight. So you can use your L brackets for that too, but you're going to have to drill a hole in the side for your wiring to come through. Typically, I would go out the back, but for this motor, the way it's sitting, I didn't want to drill another hole in the back, so I just went out the side. Next will be your PTC heater, which is on the bottom right here. You got to mount it down first, push your wire in through the back, and once you get it in, you wire it up. The wires coming in through the back. That's wired by itself. It's not in sync with anything. I'm sorry, it is in sync. It's in sync with your Inkbird up top. You're wiring it to your Inkbird and your power. Next will be the fan. What I did was I took some 4-inch screws and I drilled on this side and the opposite side of it to let them hover over the PTC heater, so there's a nice space in between, so that the heat is flowing directly up and even to where the fan's not getting burned. Everything is just working together in sync. Of course, you're gonna run your wires out the back with that too for your fan. And these fans, like I told you, they have a variable speed on them, so you can set them at whatever speed you would like. Other than that, your egg trays, what I did was I took the egg tray and I cut off the sides. I cut off the sides right here so they can fit in there perfect. And it worked. Like I said, it works good. It sits in there, and I use these carriage bolts right here as leverage for them to sit on, so they won't sink in once I put the eggs in. They sit in just like this, and they work perfect. So you don't have to worry about them falling through or anything. Everything works perfect just like that. You won't have to worry about anything sinking down on you. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. Any questions? You know, if we gonna eat on the next video, we're gonna have a material list of everything that we put on this one here, and we'll tell you the prices of everything in the next video. So y'all stay tuned.